Here we'll focus on just a few terms to do with chromosome types found in cells. Let's start with the term autosomes. So an autosome is a non-sex chromosome. Which means that it's a chromosome that does not determine the sex of the individual. This is the carrier type of a human being, and a human being carries 22 pairs of autosomes. So that's all of these chromosomes here are our autosomes. And we also carry one pair of sex chromosomes. So in a male human being, there's an X chromosome and a Y chromosome, and in a female human being there would be two X chromosomes. The other term that we're interested in here is homologous pair. So in the human being here, as in many species, we carry two sets of chromosomes. We get one set from our maternal side, our mother, and we get a matching set from our father, the paternal side. So we have our maternal chromosomes that have come from mum and our paternal chromosomes that have come from our dad's side. Each of these sets matches up because each chromosome in the set carries the same gene. So let's have a look at the carrier type again. Let's look at chromosome number 4. So you'll see that they exist as a homologous pair. The term homologous refers to meaning the same. They carry the same genes along the length of the chromosome. So one of these chromosomes will have come from the mum via the egg or the ova. The other chromosome will have come from the dad via the sperm. And they will combine together in the zygote and then be passed on to every cell in the body. So they exist as a homologous pair. So along the length of the chromosome will be exactly the same genes. Each version of the gene may be slightly different, so there may be different alleles of the same gene, but they are the same genes. They code for the same characteristic. In the human species, sex is determined by two chromosomes, the X chromosome and the Y chromosome. The X chromosome and the Y chromosome are not homologous. They don't carry the same genes. They act as a homologous pair during meiosis. They travel together. But in terms of the actual genes that they carry along their length, they are not the same. So the X chromosome has different genes along its length, and the Y chromosome has a different set of genes. But they determine sex in human beings. So two X chromosomes would determine that you would be female. If you carry an X and a Y chromosome, then you would be male. And it's important to note that the Y chromosome is considerably smaller than the X chromosome, as you can see in the carrier types earlier in this tutorial. Now, in some species, there's a slightly different system at work. This separate system or different system is called the ZW, sex determination system. It's very similar to the XY system, except it's kind of reversed in some ways. This system tends to be seen in species such as birds, some fish, crustaceans, and some insects, and some reptiles. So it's only seen in some species. In this system, to inherit the Z sex chromosomes will mean that you are male. If you inherit the ZW sex chromosomes, then you'll be female, which is kind of the opposite to the XY system. So it's the female in this system that has different chromosomes, and it's the male that has the same chromosomes. Let's move on and look briefly at the term centromere. So the centromere is that part of a chromosome that links sister chromatids together. So when a chromosome has replicated and made a copy of itself, the two copies of the DNA are referred to as chromatids. So the single chromosome becomes two chromatids, and these are joined somewhere along their length by something called a centromere. It's the centromere that is able to connect to the spindle fibres during mitosis or meiosis. Let's have a look at telomeres. The telomere or telomeres are regions of repetitive nucleotide sequences found at the end of each chromatid. So at the ends of the chromatids are these repetitive nucleotide sequences referred to as the telomeres. The telomeres are there to help protect the ends of the chromatids during replication and protect from the kind of natural loss sometimes of nucleotides due to the replication process. So every time a cell or a piece of DNA replicates or divides, a bit of the telomere degrades and gets lost. So over time, telomeres become shorter and shorter. And it is thought that there is a link between the chromosomes, or the telomeres of chromosomes getting shorter and shorter, and the process of the aging of cells and the aging of an organism over time.